This is a place.
This is the place.
This is a place. We want to talk about. This is a place.
Thank you for listening to This is a Place podcast. My name is Brandon, and I'm joined by a man who thinks that spring is his favorite day of the year, Nate.
That's me. Because wouldn't you say that spring is one of like the biggest lies ever?
How so?
Because it's really just like one day they talk about how lovely spring is, but one day it's 65 degrees, the next day it's snowing. But that's not what I imagine when I think of spring.
You imagine popcorn popping on the apricot trees?
Yeah, but where? I don't see popcorn anywhere. And you know how I love popcorn. At least my daughter tells me that all the time.
No,
And
you really do love popcorn.
Popcorn. I do
Day
like
old popcorn.
Day old popcorn. Yes, I
This
will
has been
pop
established.
popcorn and just wait for it to eat the next day. All the time. It's very rare that we don't have popcorn in the house.
It's like the aging of cheese or a fine wine.
A fine wine. The stinkier, the better.
The staler, the better the popcorn.
Stellar. There you go. But yeah, what a crazy because I think spring was this week, right? The official day, first day of spring. Saturday, March 20th.
The day that it snowed and rained all day. Some spring.
Yeah, which is crazy because the week leading up to quote unquote spring, it was very nice weather outside.
In fact, the day before, the 19th, was way nice.
Like in the 60s, right? It
was a solid day.
It was a good day. And Saturday comes, spring comes, and it brought us such a nice surprise. Snowflakes dropping before our eyes.
Look, it's not all bad, though, because as a matter of fact, we Utahns, or those here in Salt Lake, have been blessed with a very beautiful thing from the 22nd to April 24th, at least, or while supplies last. Do you happen to know what that is?
Till when?
April 24th.
April 24th. No idea.
We have been gifted by the overlords of Chick-fil-A a trial run of a new shake. And it's specifically just for Utah to test out and see what we think.
Okay. I think I saw the headline, and you know me with headlines. I just read the headline, and they didn't give what it was. They just said Utah to test something for Chick-fil-A. And
I read the whole thing just for you, Nate.
I appreciate it. That's why I always send it to you and tell you to give me the rundown of what the article said.
Okay,
because
so
their peach shake's pretty good.
Oh yeah, nothing can beat the peach shake. I'll start off. So first, got to give a shout out to my friend Hunter, who sent me this while I was at work. And first thing I did after leaving work was went and got one of these here shakes, because I love the shakes. We had a episode loosely based on shakes last week, as a matter of fact, all about the Shamrock Shake. We're talking about a lot of shakes lately, malts and Shamrock Shakes, and now butterscotch shakes. So starting March 22nd, they started offering this new seasonal butterscotch crumble milkshake. And it says available while supplies last or till the 24th of April. They said the city known for its love of Chick-fil-A milkshakes will be the first to test a new butterscotch treat. Hand spun the old-fashioned way, Chick-fil-A says the milkshake is made with its ice cream frozen dessert and blondie crumbles, and when not served via delivery, is topped up with whipped cream and a cherry. Gotta have the cherry.
Cherry on top.
Our guests let us know that they love seasonal milkshakes like our peppermint chip milkshake. We are excited to test another seasonal milkshake and hope Salt Lake City customers enjoy this delicious blend of butterscotch flavored syrup, ice cream dessert, and blondie crumbles. Why Salt Lake, though, you ask? I'm sure all of you are asking why. Why us?
Why?
Chick-fil-A says its customers in Utah's capital city, drank more than 1.5 million of its milkshakes in 2020. On average, Salt Lake City customers drink more milkshakes than customers nationwide based on sales reports.
Interesting.
So, man, we do love our shakes here in Salt Lake.
We love our treats, I think you could say, right? We love sugar.
Yeah. My wife loves the peppermint shake. I love the peach shake. And now I love the butterscotch shake. And the kicker is I don't even like butterscotch.
Really?
Butterscotch is one of my least favorite flavors, but Chick-fil-A can't make anything that's bad. And they still knocked it out of park with this butterscotch shake.
I like Chick-fil-A. So I went and played pickleball last week at Murray Courts, and you can literally see the Chick-fil-A restaurant in the background. And then you could start to smell the restaurant after a minute. And then a few of the players there, people playing, they brought over bags of Chick-fil-A. And it was a day I was eating. So I was getting hungry because I hadn't had dinner that night. It's a day I could eat. So I was like, I'm going to go to Chick-fil-A after. But then like on the way to Chick-fil-A, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember McDonald's has like this new chicken sandwich that I've been wanting to try to
It's good.
compete with Chick-fil-A. Did you try it?
I did.
The McDonald's one? It was good, but it wasn't Chick-fil-A good. Would you
It
say?
still isn't Chick-fil-A. Exactly.
Yeah. So
The
I went to
Popeyes one
McDonald's
is
on the way
good
home.
too. I enjoy that
Yes.
one.
Yeah. But
But
nothing
can beat Chick-fil-A.
right. So good sandwiches, but it definitely wasn't Chick-fil-A. So I think in a way I was kind of disappointed because I was thinking about Chick-fil-A all night while I was playing and then didn't get that reward of having Chick-fil-A because I wanted to try the McDonald's one.
I mean, it's
Instead.
good. It's still good.
Still good, just not Chick-fil-A.
Now you have
So-
another reason to go to Chick-fil-A in the next little bit here.
So did you go just for the shake?
I did.
Shake only?
Let me give you my assessment of it. I'll give it 8 out of 10 because I think it probably would be higher than that, but they've got little pieces of butterscotch and these blondie things, which are like crunchy, these crunchy little pieces in it, which I love. I love the crunchy pieces, but it's really hard to drink because things kept getting sucked in the
Stuck
straw.
in the straw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's good. And I think they should release it to the masses, but maybe that would just be my add-in is maybe blend things a little bit better so there's not as much getting stuck in the straw and you can suck it up a little bit better. But it was good. It was a very delicious shake. And thanks
Go
for the sponsorship, Chick-fil-A.
We will expect a chicken sandwich in the mail.
In the mail, it'll still be
In the
good.
mail. I'm
Even
like,
after
how
a
would they
couple
do
days.
it? Or Uber Eats or something.
Yeah.
So, which by the way, isn't Uber Eats doing like a buy one, get one free deal right now with March Madness?
Dude, I still have not got on the food delivery train.
Me neither.
I can't think of paying extra just to not go drive. No disrespect to anybody that does, but for me, being so dang cheap, I can't do it.
Well, you and I both live in a location that we have so many options within a mile or two of our house, right? So it seems weird to not just go drive to the restaurant and grab it.
Yeah.
And you live so dang close to a Little Caesars that their new delivery thing makes no sense, right?
And top of that, I live next to a Little Caesars that has a drive-through.
Yeah, that's true. Makes it even easier to get your pizza.
Don't even have to get out of the dang car.
But part of me too, I'm not a homebody. I enjoy my family a lot, but I like getting out. So I like getting out of the house. So any excuse to get out of the house and go somewhere, I'm usually down for it. So a lot of times I'll take my kids with me just so I can hang out with them too as well. But yeah, I can't I get cabin fever really quick. So my tangent was I was at my office today and one of my agents says, "Hey, Nate, have you ever tried Santo tacos before?" And then I'm like, part of me is a little offended because I'm like, that means you're not listening to the podcast. But yeah, we did a whole episode on Santo tacos. So, and then the next restaurant, he says, "Well, this weekend I went to Hires with my grandkids." And I'm like, again, another episode we just did. So he's obviously not listening to our podcast. So shame on you. But speaking of past episodes, I noticed that we have now participated in recording 52 episodes. So what does that mean, Brandon?
Drum roll, please. Show to the world.
Oh, good job.
It's our anniversary. It's our 1 year anniversary.
And how cool is it for me that 2 of my anniversaries are in the same month?
So cool.
Yeah. I mean, I love you and all, Brandon, but you're not as quite on the high list of love as my wife, but you're pretty close, So.
All right. No, I'll take it.
So March is all about the anniversaries for us.
But pretty cool. We've actually stuck to something for this long. And
yeah.
Thanks for the ride, guys. It's the final episode.
I was thinking of that. We promised ourselves we'd give it a year.
We promised to give it a year, and we've seen 0 returns.
And we're still only at 13 listeners. And our goal was to have 15 by the end of the year. And
we just did not make the goal.
Did not make it. So again, shame on all of you who are not listening.
Yeah. But they're not hearing the shame that we're sending them because they're not listening anyway. So
yeah. So you can tell them all to go pound sand. But yeah, we made it a whole year. And it seems just like yesterday that we started.
Yeah, it was a whole pandemic ago that we began.
A whole pandemic ago, which has been great. It's been fun doing this to get us out of the house during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And it'll be awesome to be able to go do places in the future without the pandemic in place.
Exactly. So no, we're not hanging up the microphone yet. We got your haircut, which everybody keeps asking about. That's going to be coming up soon.
When I make my haircut. Yeah. So everyone needs to chime in and let me know what style of haircut I need to get. What the people want. We got to get people what they want.
Yeah. What do the people want? Maybe we should do a poll.
We should do a poll and see what people want or what I should do. So we'll see. But it's kind of fun to go back and because we can see the stats, right, from our podcast where the curve, it almost looked like the housing bubble because we had like a very slow curve and then we had this huge spike back when we did Raging Waters. And it's like the bubble burst, not so to speak, but it kept gradually going up. But that's a good sign, I think, that instead of going down, we've been going up. And
yeah,
do you want to say the good news about? I think we mentioned in the episode a few weeks ago that we broke our record in January for most downloads. I think we got exactly 13. And
we have way surpassed it this month.
Yeah, this month.
And still 2 more episodes to go for March.
Yeah, so we broke our download record this month, and we still have 2 weeks to go. So thanks to everybody who's jumping on the bandwagon of listening to our podcast. And maybe some of you were just going to wait to see like, hey, it's just a couple guys that are going to do this as a hobby for a few weeks and then bail. But no, we're in it to win it. So we'll do whatever it takes to get to 15 listeners, whatever it takes.
We're already at 15. We'll do whatever it takes to get to 20 listeners.
Get the 20 listeners.
Because we're not going to make our money off of sports betting, as we could see from our busted bracket.
Yeah.
I mean, picking BYU and Utah State to both go to the final game, I think
I thought that was a shoe-in. I thought that was an easy, which is funny. What's the name? Bill Walton? Is that his name? The Pac-12 guy that he picked like all Pac-12 teams to be in the Final Four,
Weird how
and they're
that
still in
happens.
it. Yeah, you thought he was crazy, but who knows? Maybe it might happen because as of the recording, all Pac-12 teams are still in the tournament. I was hoping, I mean, obviously BYU fan, but it was also as frustrating watching Utah State. They both played equally bad. They should have played each other. Would have been a good game because they
Yeah.
both would have sucked equally.
March Madness means spring, and you mentioned spring at the top. We're in now, supposedly, but I think we should talk about a different kind of spring for our actual episode topic.
Yeah.
The spring that makes you bounce on a trampoline.
Oh.
Because we're talking about a trampoline park. Now, we've had a lot of talk of different chains in this episode so far. We've talked about Chick-fil-A, we talked about McDonald's, and now we're talking about Altitude Trampoline Park in West Jordan, which I don't know why I thought this wasn't a chain. They got locations in 30 states, as well as Argentina, Mexico, Norway, Panama, and Spain.
Argentina?
Yeah.
Spain?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So this is no small potatoes company. This is no local company. And so it's kind of cheating that we're doing it because we typically don't talk about these kinds of places. But what's the reason why we saw that we would go ahead and do it this time, Nate?
Well, we have to do this episode, and I guess the episode's more kind of about the anniversary of this as a place. And I think the whole idea for doing a podcast came because of our trip to Altitude a little over a year ago. How long ago was it?
It was longer than that. It was shortly after my daughter was born, and she's almost 2.
Yeah.
So the idea came long before
I was going to say.
We did a lot of planning, as you can all tell. How much?
Because that was before you even moved into your house as well.
Yeah.
So you've been how long until your anniversary for moving in?
It's in July. So I think we mentioned it before briefly on a previous episode, but we went to this trampoline park because we got some coupons.
Well, I remember playing basketball one morning, and I don't know how the subject of trampoline parks, or you said, or maybe it was somebody talking about how they thought that Airborne was coming into Jordan Landing, and it wasn't Airborne, it was Altitude was opening up. And I think you said, man, I would go over there and jump without any kids. And I'm like, so would I.
Yeah.
And you're like, let's do it. I'm like, okay. Right?
Yeah. And I was out of work that at the time.
Yeah, you had like you were on paternity leave, right?
And that's what we did. One afternoon, we went over to Altitude.
Like, I got no shame in my game. I don't care that 2 grown men are going over to a trampoline park.
None of the kids we pushed in the ball pit cared either.
Yeah, his mom did, but we didn't care. Neither did he.
Foam pit, I guess, not ball pit.
But I think when we were there, was there maybe 5 other people jumping as well?
Yeah,
we went like right in the middle of the afternoon, right? When everybody's in school.
Mm-hmm. So, ideal time to go, by the way. If you are thinking of going to trampoline park and you're an adult or kid too, in the middle of the day when other people are at work or school is a good time to go. You pretty much have the place to yourself.
The only downside is that if you want to play dodgeball, there's nobody to play dodgeball with. Is
there dodgeball at Altitude?
Uh-huh. Yeah, we played 101, remember?
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's true. Sorry, it's been so long ago.
Yeah, they have dodgeball. I like the basketball hoops that trampoline parks do because it's fun to pretend like you can actually jump and dunk a basketball. They had jousting, right?
Yeah.
They had like a diving board thing.
Really high up.
Then they had those super trampolines with the wall. I remember how you tried that. Do you remember that when you tried to jump up on the wall and you like hit your chest on the wall instead of getting up on the platform?
I don't remember a lot of things after that.
So that was fun.
I did
And
get
then
up though.
You eventually did. The
Eventually.
first try though, you just like timed it wrong and basically crashed into the wall.
Those trampolines, when you first jump on them, they're scary
Yeah, they shoot you up
because
pretty
you don't
high.
realize how high you're gonna go.
Yeah,
They got
a lot
they
of
got some real spring in them.
yeah, they got that real spring in their step, right?
Yeah, I
And
think
then
the
they like
basketball's my favorite though because
basketball. They have the obstacle course thing,
yeah,
the Ninja Warrior thing. And then outside of trampolines, they had like a kind of one of those traveling looking like rock wall climbing things
uh-huh.
that you see like at small outdoor events that there's nobody really holding on to. It's just a machine or whatever that has the rope you're hanging on to. And then remember my legs were so like jello that when I let go to the ground, came down a little too fast and my legs just gave. I fell on my bum.
Yeah.
And then what was that kind of like other climbing thing they had? Remember that? It was kind of like a pyramid style, like a Christmas tree. And it looked like bigger Lego blocks type style that you climbed up.
Oh yeah. I don't know if
That was
I don't remember what that is.
interesting. But
We were the only
overall,
ones
it
I think
was
that used it because there was a bunch of kids there, and we're like, "Hey,
yeah.
can
Well, we even asked
we
about
go
it,
on the
right?
rock wall?"
Like, what does a rock wall cost? And they're like, oh, it's included with your pass. And
Then let us on it.
can we do it? Sure. But yeah, we definitely got our money's worth in the hour or so that we were there. Burned a lot of calories.
I mean, one thing you pointed out was you have to watch a video, or there's videos at least on the website,
If
and
you
it
sign the waiver
shows
before you show up.
yeah, it shows you what you can expect. And we went there expecting a lot more from what those videos had to show. Like other obstacle courses that were even bigger, kind of like what they have at even Airborne out in Draper. They've got a really cool obstacle course. But that goes to show that, yeah, it's a big company and they've got much more locations than just this one in West Jordan, but they're all over the world apparently.
But yeah, I've only been to Altitude and the Airborne in Draper as far as trampoline parks go. Oh, and sorry, I lied. I took the kids a while ago to the warehouse,
Yeah.
and so as I've mentioned multiple times before, my boys have autism, and Rocky, he's gotten better, but they take everything literally. And before he went into the warehouse years ago, I think he was probably 7 at the most. We had to watch that video, the disclaimer video, that you have to sign the waiver. And they basically said a couple of times that you can basically die in the trampoline park. So Rocky was terrified when we finally got to go into the park. Like he thought we were going to die.
He was rocked to his core.
Yeah, he was like grabbing us and like saying like, no, don't go on the trampolines. You're going to die. So I had to like take him over to the trampoline and jump on it with him a little bit and be like, okay, look, see, it's safe. We're not going to die. But that was, so I learned the lesson. I'm like, well, this was before I ever took Rocky on a plane. So I'm like, well, if we ever take Rocky on a plane, he cannot watch or listen to the instructions before because he would have a panic attack. So, but he's better now. Doesn't take everything literally like he used to.
That's good.
So those are the 3 parks I've been to. But I liked Altitude and Warehouse. I don't like Airborne as much as I like I think the Warehouse is gone now though, right? But
I don't know.
But I like Altitude. The reason I do is I like my favorite part of trampoline parks is the basketball hoops and being able to dunk. And I don't believe the airborne in Draper has that. So you lose.
Because we can't dunk in real life yet.
Yet.
We were really close until the pandemic, and then we had to stop playing basketball. So we're probably another year
Lower it to
behind.
7 feet, and I've got it covered.
These places are if you go in the day and you have kids or little kids, it's fun. I took my daughter there a couple of months ago, and she had a fun time jumping, even though she's real little.
Altitude has a monthly membership for $10 a month. So it's $15 to sign up and then $10 a month. And then you can buy a parent pass for $2 each time a parent goes. Sounds like a pretty good deal. I've been debating getting a pass for each one of my kids just because it'd be nice to get them out of the house and having fun and exercising. But it's kind of hard to do it now that spring is quote unquote upon us. And you can start going outside again. But
Now that spring has sprung.
did you have a trampoline at all as a kid in your
I
backyard?
did. We begged and finally for Christmas one year, we got one of the enclosure trampolines, which is fun because then you could have cage matches.
Yes.
That's probably the only positive to having the staying safe too. That's a nice benefit.
Our first trampoline, I think our parents got it for us for Easter when I was 10, 11, 12, that age. But there was actual trampoline stores that you could go buy them from. So they were like heavy duty. Like when you mowed the lawn as a kid in my yard growing up, it would usually take two people to move the tram. You could kind of slide it by yourself when you got a little older. But the trampolines nowadays you buy at Walmart or whatever, you can grab with one hand and drag it all through the yard like no problem. They're not as heavy duty as they used to be back in the day.
Are you
I'm
sure
sure
it's
you
just
probably
not that
still
you're an
can.
adult now?
That too. But no, because my mom still had that trampoline we had as a kid till a few years ago, and that thing was heavy.
Do you still have your trampoline in your backyard right now?
Mine started out, I got one for my kids 4 or 5 years ago that had the enclosure like you talked about. And then the kids just in the neighborhood just destroyed it. So we took that off. And I wanted to take the little poles down they were attached to, but the kids love the poles. So we've kept the poles up. I think it's just easier to hold something to hold on to, right? And I've had a brand new trampoline in my garage for 2 years that I haven't put up yet because kids just love the trampoline in the backyard. So
A couple of years ago, trampoline parks became the craze, and I think they're still pretty cool.
yeah.
My only problem with them is the security guards they have, the bouncers.
But ching. Well, speaking of Chick-fil-A, what do you call a cow jumping on a trampoline?
What's that?
A milkshake. But one more question going back to your childhood.
Yes, sir.
Did you guys ever have a camp out? Did you ever sleep on the trampoline during the summer?
I believe I did once.
Oh, really? Only once?
Yeah. I think I had a camp out with my cousins. And if I recall, it didn't last the whole night.
Too scary?
Probably.
We did that a lot, sleeping out on the trampoline at night. And either the sprinklers, we forget to turn off the sprinklers, so that would wake us up in the morning. Or two, when the sun comes up and that black surface just starts heating up, that would wake you up. But if we wanted to go for teenagers age, if we wanted to go cause trouble without having to sneak out of the house, that was a good excuse. Hey, I'm sleeping on the trampoline tonight.
There you go.
But then at the same time, my parents' window wasn't far away from the backyard. You can hear the springs going when you're getting off the trampoline. Somebody was like, "So where'd you go at 2:00 in the morning?" You know,
I
so
just
it
had to
didn't
use the
work so
restroom.
well. They used the restroom.
We
remember
could
toilet
we
paper.
could probably do a trampoline camp out this summer.
We should totally do it
Yeah.
at altitude.
At altitude?
Just sleep in the foam pit, like hide in the foam pit before they close the doors.
Oh man, I would be worried about sinking down to the bottom by the end of the night.
Well, when I what did I do? I think I just fell backwards into the foam pit off that diving board they have. And I'm a bigger dude. I hit the bottom. It did not feel Downy fresh when I hit that foam. Like
You hit
it knocked the wind out of me a little bit. I don't know if you remember that. So
that was when you couldn't get out. Yeah, okay.
Oh, that too. That's the biggest pain of trampoline parks is those foam pits trying to get out. It's like
it's so fun to jump in them, but the process of getting out is
it's
almost
rough.
not worth it.
It's rough. It's not like a swimming pool where you just swim to the edge and get back out and dive back in. So it's a workout. So you definitely burn calories when you go to a trampoline park, and especially when you jump in the foam pit.
Yeah, because climbing out of that thing is a struggle.
So one thing that's fun too, I think we did it a couple of times. The part of the park, I guess you say, that's like 3 or 4 trampolines in a row.
In the middle?
In the middle, and you can run and then jump and then kind of like a slanted wall or something.
Yeah.
And you can turn around and run back. We raced, didn't we? A couple times.
Oh yeah, we had to race.
Yeah. So that's fun. Racing.
Trying to find the balance between jumping and running on the tramps.
Yeah. Well, you have to do one where you can run, straight run, and then you have to do one that you have to jump the whole time across. That's fun.
I think I won every time.
Absolutely. I can actually, out my window right now, see my trampoline. So I'm like,
Maybe we should go have a couple quick jumps.
Yeah. Like, what is the neighbor doing jumping this late at night? I know it's spring, but it's still cold outside too.
It is still cold. Yeah.
It's cold.
So maybe it's still a good time to go to trampoline park. Go and check one out. Check out Altitude for the celebration of This Is a Place podcast's 1-year anniversary.
And I still haven't received your gift for our anniversary yet.
Oh, was that today? I'm going to go get you a butterscotch shake. How about that?
Oh.
Thank you again to those that have been following along with us for this whole year. If you haven't, go back and listen to all our episodes. Boost those numbers so we can have even a better March. We'll keep having some fun. And let us know what other episodes you'd like to see in this next year of the podcast. Let us know.
And if each listener just tells one of their friends and their friends tells one of their friends, we can definitely get back, not back, but get up to 18 by this time next year.
Well, if each person tells their friend, we get to 30.
But I'm assuming that only half will do it.
Yeah. If we're lucky.
If we're lucky. But yeah, thanks to everybody who has come along on this journey with us so far. And appreciate the comments, right? And the feedback we've gotten, the suggestions for places to go to.
Tell us what else you think we can do to make it better. We are open to constructive criticism. Happy to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can keep things fresh and have some more exciting episodes for you in the near future here.
Well, that we do have coming up. So
yeah. Well, thanks for a good year, and thank you for listening to This Is a Place podcast.
See you next year. See
And
you
next
next week. See you next week.